Hello, friends, and welcome to yet another episode of Pause Talk. And today we have Nilshree with us. Welcome, Nilshree.
Thank you for this opportunity, Monica ji. Glad to be here.
So, Nilshree is an author and she's also a very nice writer. She already has 6 books to her name. So, I will now request Nilshree to introduce herself.
A big hello to all the listeners. And my name is Nilshree. I have completed my engineering in the year 2012. Um, I am born and raised in a very remote place called Khamgaon, which is in the suburbs of Maharashtra itself. And after 10th, I chose to do a diploma, which is not a normal 11th and 12th that you perceive. I had engineering in my mind since at a very young age, I would say. So I had clear intentions about it, and I perceived my engineering as well. So after completing my engineering, as it was recession going on, I chose to work with companies wherein I was supposed to make and receive calls, which is you call BPO, business process outsourcing. I have worked with Wipro, and I have worked with WNS. I have worked with Convergys and IBM. So this is my 4 years of experience. And after that, I started writing in the year 2018.
Superb, superb. So, she has also told us about her professional journey. I would like again to ask her a little in detail that how it all started in her school and uh, what was she interested in writing from the school itself, or suddenly it came out in 2018 that she wants to write. And she was doing engineering, and why did she not pursue her engineering, which is actually the pause which we will talk in the next question. But today, in this first segment, we will try to talk about her professional journey. Yes, please.
I was keen to write at a very young age. From standard fourth, fifth, I was sent for elocution competition, skit writing, and essay competitions from my school. I have won many competitions at district as well as state level. So that was the kind of encouragement and motivation I got from school. But in growing years, studies overtook that passion and it was somewhere faded, which later on, when I have leisure time and a lot of time to explore what I actually wanted to do, what was my calling. So that was the time when I explored writing again. That is about the professional journey, how the shift happened.
Yes, yes. But you did your engineering in BPO and all that. You were also working in a BPO in a lot of companies, as you told us. The majorly
Yes.
after your marriage is when the shift came after your which usually happens with a lot of women, that after you start to become a mother, you need a break, and that is where a lot of shifts happen. So nothing is new here in Nilshree, with which we have already discussed, but the new thing will come up as we proceed, so just watch out. Yeah, Nilshree, what is the pause that we are going to share about today?
So the pause came to me in the year 2015. I would say May 2015 to be precise. I got married in the year 2013, and it was a love marriage, a Marwadi married to a South Indian. So in the year 2015, I gave birth to my son, and that is when the pause came. Till 6 months, I was enjoying my maternity leave, but as time rolled, I realized it was not possible for me to work for 9 complete hours and be a mother to an infant and then a toddler as well. Being a mother is a big responsibility. Everyone who is listening, and even you, Monica ji, will agree that.
Yes, yes.
So that is the reason why, in my case, I won't say it was forced or it was choice. It was like Gen Z people call it situationship. That was a situationship that I made with my career, and I took a break in the year 2015.
Yes. And how or what all happened in that pause? How did you start to impact people? So one thing when we were discussing in an intro with Nilshree, one thing very beautiful came out when I was talking to her. She was telling about that I just asked her if she's staying in a joint family, and she said yes. And she said that she has a mother-in-law, and I said, okay, that's wonderful. Mother-in-law would have supported her, and that is where she gave me a surprise. So yeah, please share us with that.
Okay. So in my case, what happened is my mother-in-law is a working woman, and after my father-in-law passed away, she took over his job profile, and she filled in his space at his workplace and in family as well. She raised two wonderful sons, I would say. Uh, that was the time when I had to think, okay, if she is working, I have to, one woman has to be there in the home for the child, especially for the child. So that was the time where in many setups, in family setups, we see that grandparents, look after the grandchildren, and then the parents are working. So in my case, that did not happen. My mother-in-law is working, and I am the one who looks after my son. So I think this would be a little contrasting, but then career completion came for her at a later stage. For me also, it came at a little later stage, but I'm someone who believes कि जब जागो तभी सवेरा. There is no soon, there is no late. कोई जल्दी कोई late होता नहीं है. जब हम realize कर लेते हैं तभी it is like an awareness for
Absolutely,
ourselves,
absolutely.
and we have to start working right then on our dreams, on our passions, whatever we want to achieve about. So
Yeah, so that is one wonderful thing which came about through our talking, and you can see that she is a woman of very few words, but she writes very prolific writings and very profound ones. But
I always say that I am very reluctant, or I would say very hesitant when it comes to vocal words. My written words talk more more about what my thoughts are.
yes, but here I am here to coax and cajole her to speak out all of that she has to speak. So that is my job, and I'm really going to do that. So yeah, Nilshree, very beautiful thing which has come about from your talk is that it is a woman who is actually supporting a woman. No, now that we are going to have Women's Day in a week or so, so how we always ask our grandparents, our parents to help us when we are working. The younger generation wants to need that help, but there is a woman here who did not think of on those lines like that. I am young, I need my career more, and I should be given that kind of a support. But here, this woman gave support to her mother-in-law to complete her career, and that's so beautiful because every woman who is going out to work has that kind of a responsibility in that work. And when we are able to share the responsibility with a co-woman in the house itself, then the relationship really blossoms. And that is where the support is the most beautiful thing between two women, and that she has really brought about in her family. And that is how she has made that family a beautiful family in spite of being two different cultures. The family is a harmonious family because both the women have transcended those boundaries, and uh, they have joined each other with the womanhood, I can say like that. Anything more you
Yes.
would like to say on this? Yes.
So we see, I mean, even I use the hashtag women supporting women in many of my posts that I make on social media. But then charity begins at home. Whatever we want to do at a larger scale, you may say that it is a rehearsal or a practice of what consequences can be. So we thought of starting it at our home only first, that okay, if this is the situation, and she being into a almost a settled kind of profile back then, 8 years back. So I thought it is my time, I should take a break. And then as a new mother, I was also very fond of being, spending more time with my child, instead of being in that stress of, okay, I have to meet my deadlines, I have to meet those
Yes.
targets. There is a, work life has that stress, even if we say or we do not. But if you are choosing to work, that stress by default comes with your job profile. So
Absolutely.
that, yes.
So yeah, this is one thing which we have got to know about Nilshree during the pause. This is the kind of pause that she has taken. But now there is more, because post the pause, during the pause, she also started to write. That is what she said, that 2018 is when she started to write, and that was during the pause. And her first book really hit the headlines because it was all about motherhood. So that is what came about after the pause. Let us hear more from her, how she has collaborated with a lot of women, how she has helped them, and how she's inspired them. Yes, Nishri, please share your story about post pause.
Okay, so as I already mentioned, I took my maternity break in 2015, and my f- I started writing in 2018, and my first book came in 2021. So listeners might be thinking what happened during, between those times. So let me clarify. There were a lot of things that happened. I juggled between a lot of options. So initially, when I took the career break, I was very frustrated. I used to be irritated all the time because there is that feeling of not using your talent to the optimum, which pinches you from inside. Ki, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do?
Hmm.
Even though your brain accepts something, it takes a little while for the heart to accept that same thing. That was
Yes.
happening with me, and I juggled between a lot of options. I would say I have opted for those typing jobs and handwritten forms jobs, and I don't even remember now what all I have done in those 3 years. But it was in 2018 when I wrote first poem for my son's third birthday. It was received so well on social media, and then many people told me as a feedback that I should start taking writing seriously. I should give it a second thought. That was the time, and when I started writing my own diary in first place, I my feelings sort of were organized. All the chaos that was there inside my head started organizing itself. There was um, a dedicated time for everything in my mind and in my heart as well. So then I was like, okay, this is working in my favor. And that was the time I realized financial independence was not the thing that I was seeking. It was the feeling of not using my talent to the maximum that was eating me from inside. That you have to do something, you have to make an identity of yourself apart from being a mother, wife, a daughter-in-law, or a woman. You have to have another title or a separate suffix with that. So I started with my Facebook page first, which is called My Scribbles, and I started writing daily, like a journal it was. And during those years, 3 4 year child, I was teaching, okay, what is a rainbow? It has 7 colors, but how it is formed, and what is the life lesson that we get to learn from a rainbow. Then we went for a drive one day, and then there was a mountain, and he was like, mama, it's so huge, I'm so scared of it. But then uh, I used to keep talking to him about the life lessons that these simple things teach us. And then I thought of making posts related to these things, the conversation between me and my son. Uh, the fifth day, when I made the fifth post, one of the readers messaged me saying, this is a bookish content and it should go in a book. You are just stealing, you're just giving your content at a steal price. People can freely read it. It should, definitely go in a book. And I was not very convinced with this idea. Okay, I am not an author or something, I just write for myself, I feel better, so I write. But then there were many messages that followed the same message of writing it in a book format. So I made a systematic page wise data that we call as manuscript. Back then I did not even know that it is called as a manuscript. So I collated all that data and content, and then added some images, made it a little fancy, designed my cover myself, and I published my first book in 2021.
Wow. So nice. So this is how a simple act of sharing your own conversation with your own children can bring about such a big transformation. This is a very big lesson for the parents who would be listening, especially parents of small children who just spend the time knick-knacking, telling, no, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And the whole day just goes on saying, don't do this, don't do this. And the
Yes.
children keep doing something or the other. Instead of that, if we can utilize the time to have little small conversation, which will keep a child engaged and which will be very impactful and fruitful for the children when they will grow up, because this becomes the foundation of their learning, their everything what they are going to grow up with. So yeah, this is very beautiful, I must say. And
Yes.
now I would like you to share a small message for our listeners. What is that message you want to share? Before the message, how you have a few lines about the books that you have written and how you have collaborated with
Yes.
other women.
Yes. My first book, which I mentioned about, is entitled Object plus If is equal to I. Um, it was released in 2021, and in the same year, I released one more book, which is entitled Whispers of a Budgie, which is a self-help book for homemakers. Uh, the another book that released in the same year, which is not a solo book, it's an anthology, a Women's Day special anthology that 27 women have come together and written letters uh, that they wanted to write, but they did not know whom to send it to. So
Hmm.
the title of the book is Stamped, Sealed, but Unsent. So that is the book. And the fourth book that I've written is entitled The Aneem Express. This again was idea influenced during pandemic when all the parents were trying very hard to keep their children away from screen. Um, and the most, I mean, the major time that children spend is watching cartoons because
Hmm.
at a stretch they watch it for hours.
Yeah.
And to reduce that, I came up with this book. And this book is all about the life lessons that we get to learn from animated movies. So this particular book has 13 movies and the life lessons that we get to learn from them. I have a 9-year-old Polemy who is my co-author in that book. When we wrote that book, she was 9. Of course, she has grown after that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And
Yes.
the fifth book is called Hear Me Out. With this book, again, it's an anthology. With this book, we women have tried. There are again 13 stories in this book. Women have tried to normalize seeking help or asking for help,
Hmm.
and whether it is mental help or help in the house with chores or anything, asking for help. There should
Yeah.
not be a hesitation when you ask for help. So
Yeah.
each story is around this concept, and there are many more subplots to the stories. Of course, when you read the book you get to know. And the sixth book is The Road That Was Taken. It is again an anthology, and with the same clan, with the same number of women. These women I work with are very talented, but they somehow, with the responsibilities, it becomes difficult to um, express, or I would say expose their talent. So along with our daily lives, what else we do and how do we choose it? So that is the reason why the name is The Road That Was Taken.
Yeah.
So that was the one that was available is there, but the one that we have taken, we are talking about that.
Yes.
So yeah, these are the 6 books. All of them are available on Amazon.
Wonderful. And your message for the woman who wants to take that road or who wants to do whatever they have to do. Please give some message.
Okay. So my message would be never give up on your dreams, and you, no matter what you do professionally, should always have a hobby. So
Hmm.
a hobby can be anything, listening to music or cooking, gardening, anything it is. But there should be one stress buster activity that you should do for at least 10 to 15 minutes of your day. That is how I started in 2018. I used to write 10 lines a day. I started with 10
Yeah.
lines a day.
Right.
It was a gap of almost 10-12 years when, if you see the graph that I have talked about, school se leke to 2018 tak, it was a
Yes.
long gap in between. But I started small, and now I'm trying to make it big. I'm trying to add an extra to my ordinary life through my
Yes.
daily activities. So I would request women to not to give up on their dreams, no matter what happens, no matter how tough it gets, but never give up on your dreams.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Nilshree. It was so wonderful. Never give up on your dreams, women who are listening to this. And start small, even if you're starting with a little thing, but you can escalate it little later, and that is fine. That is fine. Wherever you are, start now. Right now, once you have listened to this inspiring story of Nilshree, who has taken a pause, who created beautiful things in that pause, and now she's helping so many other women also create those things. So thank you so much once again, Nilshree, and I'm again calling out to women who are listening. And if you have a beautiful story like Nilshree, you can contact me, and I will reach out to you, and you can be the next guest on our post talk. So thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you very much.